Hey there, and welcome to Retirement Reimagined. I'm Tiffany Nyiri, Senior Living Specialist, and this is the podcast where we flip the script on senior living. Whether you're a retiree ready to take on a new adventure, or just curious about how to make the most of your golden years, you're in the right place. Join me and our amazing expert guests as we dive into everything from hitting the road in an RV, getting your financial ducks in a row, exploring the perks of a reverse mortgage, or just figuring out how to link that smartphone to your car. We're here to inspire, inform, and give you practical tips to live your best retired life. So buckle up, tune in, and let's reimagine what retirement can truly be. Welcome to Retirement Reimagined, Andy. Just for our viewers, we have Andy Bryant here. I'm going to let him introduce himself. He and I met when he was at the Corona Police Department, and we had a charity, well, we still have a charity that deals with crimes against children. And Andy was very, very tough job to do. Tough job to do, but you were there to do it for your time. And since then, we have been friends and acquaintances in the business, as well as, you know, you're my go-to guy for everything police related.
Yeah. Thanks, Tiffany. And thanks for inviting me to this. I hope I'm helpful and can convey some good information for you. Right. So like Tiffany said, my name's Andy Bryant. I was a detective, or retired as a senior detective from Corona Police 6 years ago now. But I was a police officer from 1992 to 2018. And in 2004, in Corona, I was promoted to full-time detective role, where I was assigned to sexual assaults and child abuse cases, where I worked at for 9 years with the support of Project Kids, Tiffany's group, who would send us to training that was really valuable. I mean, cases investigated by Corona detectives were 100% enhanced due to the training opportunities provided by Project Kids that the city didn't have the resources to support. So I have to throw that back at you and say that's amazing, and you've helped kids out. I had, just real quick, I went to one of those trainings and had a chance meeting with an FBI agent who had a contact with FBI agent who's assigned to Mexico City. But not long after that training occurred, I came back to Corona and I got a case of a non-custodial child abduction. The mother, who had lost custody of all her kids due to the choices she made in her life, collected all three of them, one of them being like a 5-year-old, and was headed to Guatemala, where she had a boyfriend. So she loaded them all up in the car and started driving across all the way through Mexico, which apparently, even just driving through Mexico City is a 3-day trip because it's so huge, and it's just not exactly, we don't have interstates like us. So anyway, 500 miles from the Honduras or the Guatemalan border, the equivalent of Mexico CHP saw her and pulled her over because I had been able to contact the FBI attaché in Mexico City, who was friends with the equivalent of the CHP director, California CHP director, the Mexican Highway Patrol. And he put the word out, and then the long arm of Corona Police Department reached out, and FBI flew her kids back, and flew back a Chihuahua they had collected during the trip. And
everybody collects a Chihuahua. You can't drive through Mexico City without bringing home a Chihuahua.
Right. So
my mother-in-law has the Chihuahua from Mexico.
Oh, that's funny. Yep. Totally. I was really surprised the FBI was that sort of accommodating, but we had to drive to LAX and pick everybody up, and it was nice to reunite everybody with their family members. But honestly, that connection, my captain was like, "How did you pull that off?" Right? Well, I pulled it off because I made connections from trainings that Project Kids supported us to go to in Dallas, Texas, for the National Crimes Against Children Conference. So, anyway, this little story there, but how local root organizations can really make a difference in people's lives.
Yes, in fact, I'm going to put a little note right here that we'll take that little part that you just mentioned and we will put it on the Project Kid website. That will be really great.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's awesome.
So, all right, let's get down to what we were talking about. You and I were talking about crimes against our seniors, because we went from crimes against children to crimes against seniors. And they are they're terrible because they have different kinds of scams, as counterfeit scams, lottery scams, text scams, romance scams, so many different things coming at our seniors, and they're just so trusting. So tell me a little bit about what you've seen.
Right. So toward the end of my career there, I was fortunate enough to be assigned to, still as a Corona detective, I was assigned to a regional task force. So I was assigned to the Riverside County District Attorney's Office Real Estate Fraud Task Force. And there were a significant number of cases involving real estate transactions where seniors were taken advantage of. And those were particularly sad because the people doing it, in a couple of cases, actually had real estate licenses. They had been decent, law-abiding people, I think, for a while, and something happened. Those are particularly tough to, you need somebody on your side. So if you just, you need a realtor for you if you're buying or selling property in addition to the other side, just so everything stays even keel.
Yeah.
But more commonly are fraud cases that target seniors due to the trusting nature, due to, wanting to help. So just to get the statistics out of the way a little bit, in 2023, there's an FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center, and they tallied $3.4 billion worth of fraud losses by Americans over the age of 60 in 2023, and that's up 11% from 2022. But the worst part of that statistic is the average loss per case. What do you think the average loss per case was, Tiffany? And this is nationwide.
Well, that's 3.4 billion nationwide. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can fathom the numbers of that. Like that's
right.
A lot. I don't know, maybe 100 grand?
Oh wow. Okay. The actual average loss per case was nearly $34,000.
Oh, okay.
So
that's
each
better.
person we have reported, well, still, I would think if you get tricked out of $500, that's one thing. But the average is $34,000. So that means there had to be a lot of it was significantly more than that to bring that average to 34. Who has $34,000 laying around? They could just go to say, lesson learned, right? So that kind of stuck out to me as, being an Inland Empire, like frugal kind of guy. That's painful right there.
Yeah.
So anyway, a lot of scammers, they think that, people who are retired have a lot of retirement savings sitting in their bank account, but they need that for care and housing and, issues like that. Sometimes there's cognitive issues that can make people vulnerable. So anyway, so we could talk a little bit about the types of scams there are so that hopefully if somebody's approached, they can recognize, oh, wait a minute, right? This sounds like something I heard some weird guy talk about on Tiffany's podcast. So imposter scams are a big one, right? So with this, they take advantage of the fact that people are not likely to question authority figures. So they might get an email that says, we're from the government, or we're from the IRS, or we're from this or that sort of government authoritative organization, like your electric or gas company, and we're going to shut off your utilities if you don't send us something. And they provide you a link to the scammer, right? So you always, if you get something from a utility, just ignore it, go directly to your utility yourself and say, what's up, right? Is there a problem? Because more than likely, somebody's trying to get you to send the money as a scam.
Yeah, don't be afraid to call the real number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Even call a family member and say, hey, did you get this email?
Right. Or because it's not normal for utilities to send you emails like that. And they all say that. They all say, we'll never ask you for your password. Your banks know that. We don't ask you for passwords. We don't ask you for anything in emails because they know scammers do that. So they want you to contact them directly so that there's no scammer involved. And then there's other ones, other imposter scams where they say they're from the IRS or the Social Security Administration telling you owe taxes or fees, and they may even threaten criminal charges if you don't respond to that email. Those are scary because they might seem right. They might seem legitimate. But again, that doesn't happen. They don't do that. So you get letters in the mail from the IRS. You don't get emails from the IRS. Or your bank's telling you there's a problem with your account and requesting money transfers or account details. Banks don't do that. Don't fall for that, right? Ignore that. Call your bank directly. Hey, is there something wrong with my accounts? And they'll let you know. A good little caveat with that one is I was newer to Corona PD and still driving the patrol car. I was a patrol officer. And B of A at 6th and Main called Corona PD dispatch and said, hey, can you send an officer down here? We have 2 elderly people. They were told they won some sort of lottery, but they have to send money to the people in order to get the lottery money sent to them. We know it's a scam, but they will not take our word for it. Oh. So good for the bank, right? They had a police officer come down. I was able to see what the people had and tell them, no, this is people trying to take money from you. You didn't win anything, right? Mm-hmm. So they were able to prevent them from losing money. Gosh. So that was pretty heads up work there by
Thank goodness. See something, say something.
Yeah, that was good. So besides the imposter scams, there's the familiarity scam as well. And these are particularly devious. So people pretending to be a loved one, they try to persuade you to give them sensitive personal information or send them money through a digital payment platform. Maybe they might claim to be with your grandchild or other close family member. Hey, we're in serious trouble. We need money. Can you send it right away? Medical bills, car repairs, gas. You're not going to get an email like that. You're going to get a call from somebody you know. So if you get something from somebody that's just out of the blue, it's probably a scam, right? Or they pretend to be romantically interested in you and suddenly start asking you for bank account details after gaining your trust and affection. That's happened as well. So
that's a tough one too, because a lot of people are lonely. Right. And that'll really play on your emotions even deeper maybe than a family member, because again, you're lonely and you're hoping that person is for real.
Right. And they play on that. Scammers play on that. I've investigated a really sophisticated scam by somebody who I was only able to pin down was in South Africa. But he was getting money hand over fist sent to him by acting like he was what do you call the deed of trust? People who finalize the real estate transactions, acting like he was from a title company and providing bogus wire instructions for for real estate transactions that were closing. So he would get the $150,000 sent to him, and it actually wasn't going to the title company, because he would send them emails. They click on the link, and then he could get into their Microsoft Outlook email account, make a rule so that any emails that came to that legitimate employee of the title company went also to him. So then he was able to interject himself right at the right time when a deal was closing, say, oh, we had a change in the bank account information, send it here. So I give that as an illustration of just how sneaky they can be. Sophisticated, right?
Wow. So, and to this day now, that particular type of scan has warranted a huge, and I could probably show you on one of my emails that I have from an escrow company, wire fraud is real. Please do not change anything that we've given. If you have any questions, you call us directly. It's a thing now, and it didn't used to be. So this Fruit Loop, oh my goodness.
And here's the thing. If you can avoid using wire transfers, that's best, especially as us, just regular consumers. There's really not much need for us to wire any money. As soon as you wire some money to someone, it's gone. You cannot get it back. There's no disputing a charge or disputing a wire like you can a credit card. Once that money moves from one bank to the other bank, you will never see it again.
Okay. Well, and then real estate transactions are predominantly wired.
Right.
And we do, I know escrow companies here in California, other companies just have title and attorneys, but they're pretty proactive, but it can still happen because how sophisticated the scammers are. Changing a font and an A that looks real round to an A that looks elongated in an email address. Something as wildly easy as that.
Yeah, and the newest thing that I've actually had come across my phone often lately are text message scams.
Yes, talk to me about that, because
again, they look legitimate. I have learned to actually type the language of the text message into Google and hit enter, and then you'll see scam. So that's just one, because text messages, they don't have that same sort of font scenario going. They all look like whatever the font is on your phone, so you don't know. It's hard to tell if it's real or not. So you have to do some double checking there. And some of them seem very scary. Again, same thing, hey, we're coming after you. We're shutting off your power. We're doing whatever.
Yes. My mom is 73, And she got some text messages, sent them to my sister, took a screenshot, did not click, sent them to my sister for verification because my sister pays all her bills for her. And sure enough, thank goodness she didn't click on it.
Right. Yeah. Don't follow any links texted to your phone from sources that aren't in your contact list, sources you don't know, right? Because it's likely going to install some malware on your phone, and then if you log into your bank account from your phone, they might be able to see that login criteria and then have access to transfer money out of your account to theirs, acting like they're you.
Yes.
So it's all getting very sophisticated, but it's just, the bottom line is, it's like I tell people the solicitors who come to my house, hey, look, if I want to buy something, I know where to go. I've never had a good deal, a great product come to my front door. So no need. Don't bother, right? Don't do that here. So same thing. You get these unsolicited emails, definitely it is good to run everything that's asking for your personal information. Everything is asking for information that lead to your bank account, your home address, where your family members live, who your family members are. Just best to ignore all those. Check with the family member to say, hey, I got this, just like your mom did with your sister. And there's other resources too, because not everybody has somebody close by that they can help, them who are trusted. So one of the, for locally here in the Inland Empire, I'm aware of the Janet Geske Center in Riverside that have senior resource advisors. And, they might be good to approach for this sort of thing and other stuff too. I'll put that link to that in the chat here if I can figure it out.
Also, I have seen on Facebook where someone will ask a lot of questions, like, they don't seem personal, but, name of your dog, where'd you go to school, what street did you live on? Well, these are all prompting answers for your passwords.
Oh, right. Yeah, smart.
So if you go through and fill all these out, you're giving fuel to someone that may not be legit. So, filling out all these little things on Facebook might seem fun, but don't do it.
Right.
From what I'm being told.
It's true. Any sort of insights into your personal information that wouldn't normally be known is best to keep it private.
Yeah.
Where did you go to high school? Well, people could probably Google you and figure that out, but it's just best to, keep that personal stuff sort of, to avoid that because, passwords can be figured out, and that's especially with the new computers now and artificial intelligence. It's insane the level of computing ability.
It's wild.
That you pump in that information, what passwords might be related to this person's dog's name, when they lived, where they lived, when they graduated, and then it can just spit out things, and then quickly try them all against your bank account, and you never know, right? So, it's best to keep that stuff protected.
So you gave us one service, the Janet Geske Foundation, which we will put in the links for everybody. Also, they can call police department. Right. They can call a family member.
Yeah. The bank.
The bank direct, any utility company, anyone getting this information. So if it feels bad, first you have to listen to your gut. I mean, we all want to win the lotto, but chances are we're not winning the lotto.
Well, you have to play it to win it. And if you haven't played it, then
certainly not winning.
You're not winning, right? So
Publishers Clearinghouse. Did everybody have to, raise your hand for that?
Oh,
or did you just get the winning ticket?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Wow. Publishers Clearinghouse. You're making me think way back now.
I know, way back.
So, and for people who maybe are AARP members, I found an interesting website recently. They actually have something they call a scam tracking map. I just put a link in the chat for you there, Tiffany, where you can search a location. It knew where I was because I allowed my browser to say, generally where I am. And it put in Riverside County, and then it shows you a bunch of locations of reported. There's one scam reported in this area, 3 scams reported in this area. And then they kind of talk about scam types, like several links to, for instance, people get emails or text messages to tollsca.com. Like it looks like it's coming from the toll roads. Like, you might have but they're scams. Toll road services will not text you, they say. So this is pretty interesting. It kind of gives you an overview of things that people are trying, scammers are trying, that's been reported. received a text message from U.S. Customs. So, ignore that, obviously. So they're not going to text you. So that's very interesting. I wasn't aware of this until I started looking at things for you, Tiffany, because I wanted to be prepared.
Well, see, and you just hear about this, and it's just so very sad. Even $500 is not right.
Right.
Not right. And anything that is right now, if it says it's urgent, nothing is urgent.
Right.
Nothing is urgent.
Yeah, unsolicited, nothing's urgent. If you haven't paid your electricity bill in 2 months, but if you have been paying, it's a scam, right? Somebody's trying to.
Yes.
And there's one more here that was interesting. I saw people will reach out to you either via text or email and posing as technical support reps, like, hey, there's a problem with your computer, we can help you fix it. So that sort of scam caused a 90-year-old to be defrauded of $20,000 because
I bet that happens a lot.
Yeah, she thought there was a problem with her computer. They were offering to help her clear up the viruses or whatever that were bogus, and they took all this money from her. So sad.
Wow. Yeah, because you're on your little laptop or you're on your computer, and that's a tough one. I interviewed a computer techie guy that helps our seniors with iPhones and connecting Google and Alexa and all this stuff to their house and different apps that they can use to help them around the house. So if anybody has a problem, we call Mark and we say, Mark, there's something popping up on my computer, but you don't need to click on it. You could literally shut the lid, turn it off, call somebody.
Right. Yeah. That's best.
Goodness.
Just close that browser window and move on, because if you haven't clicked on anything, you're probably safe. The browsers do have some built-in features now, but there's other things. And, as smart as the companies get, then the scammers get a little smarter, and then the companies get a little smarter. It's just an ongoing process. So you always, just kind of keep your guard up. Anything you didn't ask for, you don't know is coming, it's probably a scam, but it might be good to check with somebody before you take any action at all.
Well, thank you, Andy. I appreciate your time, and I know this was going to be valuable information to somebody hearing it from a professional like yourself, longtime professional. And we're going to put links to the scam. We're going to put links to the Senior Advocate Center. So you guys stay tuned, and we'll get you some more information to help your retirement. Thank you so much, Andy. I appreciate you on with us.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Stay safe.
Thanks for tuning in to Retirement Reimagined. I hope today's episode gave you some great tips to elevate your retirement. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you found our discussion helpful, please leave a review. It helps others find the podcast too. Curious about how to unlock new financial opportunities in retirement? I'd love to chat and explore how we can make your golden years even brighter. Until next time, I'm Tiffany Nyiri. Keep reimagining.